Hey everyone, I'm Victor Dwyer, and today we're going to be talking about Google to Amazon ranking strategy, overall external ranking strategies, and just overall like external to Amazon strategies. Today we have Clayton from Carbon 6. We met in person, and he's an awesome guy. I wanted to get him on the podcast, and I'm glad you're here. He's going to give us a little intro about who he is, how he got introduced to this whole e-commerce mess, is what I call it, and then dive into some external ranking strategies. Clayton, thank you so much for hopping on today.
Absolutely, Victor. Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Should be fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
you pretty much said it, Clayton. From Carbon 6, I'm technically a community ambassador. I've been selling on Amazon for about 6 years. I live in Puerto Rico, which is where Justin, the CEO of Carbon 6, lives. So we met um, through a mutual friend, and around that time, Carbon 6 was like very nascent, like very much of a baby company, like 20 people. And now it's closer to 300, and that's all happened in about 14 months since I joined, and so it's been a whirlwind. But yeah, he wanted somebody to come on board that had Amazon selling experience and the drive to build up Carbon 6, which is essentially it's a SaaS roll up that's building a platform for serious sellers. We're not really going after the brand new seller or that's just learning. We think that space has been filled really well, and there's a lot of resources for people that are just trying to learn the basics. But Carbon 6 is a little bit more upstream, if you will. And for the past year or so, I've been really focused on ranking strategies that are TOS compliant, which we know that a lot of ranking strategies aren't.
Yeah.
And specifically working on PixelMe. So yeah, that's kind of how I came to be here.
That's amazing. And I have a lot of respect for Carbon 6 because the Amazon tool space, like if you think Amazon moves fast, the Amazon tool space is like lightning speed because you have to keep up with the Amazon APIs, you have to keep up with Amazon algorithm, and then like this different tool space on what people are going to use. Like I just have a lot of respect to be able to move that quick on all these
Yeah.
things. And, like everyone knows Carbon 6. Like it's one of those like everyone knows. And it's just I have a lot of respect for it. It's like I can't imagine like the things you're going through is like how fast things are just changing all the time.
Yeah. Like thank God that it's not my job to do that. We'd be in trouble. Like, we have incredible programmers. We got people like staying on top of it. I pretty much just like when I think something's a good idea, I'll be like, hey, can we do this? Or I heard that's changing. It'd be sick if we could have that. But I'm not the one programming it. So I'm sure like the dev team hates me. But I'm listening to the voice of the customer and talking to people that are out there every day and hearing what the customer and what sellers need. And that's my job, right? To like go into the community, figure out what's needed and what could really move the needle for people, and then politely ask the dev team to make it happen and come into being. But yeah, you're right. I mean, software moves quick. It has to. It's competitive, and sellers have a lot of demands, and there's an entire process around how we take feedback from customers and how we prioritize it and how much, how many people ask for this versus how big of an impact this would make. I mean, that goes into our decision making all the time. I'm a small piece of that, but yeah, it moves fast. You're right.
And that's so important. Like we all know that like and that's Amazon's approach. We all know Amazon does not care about the seller. Like when it comes to customer
Mm-mm.
support for the seller, they could give a crap. They do not care.
What's a seller? What's a
Yeah,
seller?
exactly.
Yeah.
But when it comes to customer support, they are extremely good at customer support. They will take the hit. They will like if it's after the 30 days, they're usually very understanding even after that. So when it comes to the customer support, like that's kind of the way to win. Like if you are have a customer first approach and you're always listening to them, they really feel like the product is theirs. Like let's say if you have a feature request and they add in that feature, they go, wow, they listen to me, and then you become like just like a lot more loyal to that customer, like that customer becomes a lot more loyal to the tool. They go, wow, they actually listen to me. They feel like it's a part of them now. So
Yeah.
it's really important to have that customer first like mentality. That's the way to win. Like in
Yeah,
any
we actually on Fridays, which is today, we have what's called our all hands call, and we go like in a loop based on our which software. So number one, we're always hiring new people into Carbon 6. So some people get on and they're like, wow, we have all these tools. I don't know what any of them do. So we'll bring people on, and today it was me and Albert's turn to talk about PixelMe. Strangely enough, just coincidence. And but we also bring in a customer. So we brought in Gabe Klingham from Hey.com. and he talked about his experience and about where he hopes the tool goes. But I mean, the definition of being heard, right? Like the CEO's on the call. There's like 150 people on that call. More would be
Wow.
on there. Wasn't based on the time zone. But Gabe gets to like get up there and talk about his experience, Pixame, why he loves it, but also what he would change about it. We've done that with SoStock. We've done it with Scan Unlimited. We're just going through the entire cycle of our tools. And some weirdly enough, like more than one person has come back from that. We told them, think hard about what you would like to have changed about this tool, and on 2 of them they were fixed within 7 days, and they wrote back and we were like, it's incredible. But yeah, they're getting in front of the whole company to speak. So talk about like flat information dissemination. That's it.
That's amazing. That is so cool. And let's take a step back. Like when it comes down to why you became a seller, you talked like how you kind of got into Carbon 6 and how that came to be about. But why or how did you decide to really start selling on Amazon? What made you make that? Like, did you start with a certain product and then kind of kicked off from there? What kind of got you started in that whole thing?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'll go back to the beginning. It was 1992. I'll try to make it quick. So
Yeah.
I was graduated from college, and 3 of my buddies and me started an arbitrage business. One of us was a programmer. So we kind of together architected and built out what a lot of tools were, already doing, but they were offering it as a service. We built something that we thought was better. It proved in a lot of ways to be better. And it gave us a competitive edge with like online arbitrage drop shipping, mostly between Amazon and eBay. We figured out the gift card game back then, and, just really scaled that pretty big. Got some employees. At one time we had 10 plus employees, some of them BAs, some of them in the US. And then, it got super hyper competitive. Our programmer, which is like, teaches you about business decisions in general, kind of got complacent. He was happy with where the business was, didn't care if it scaled much more. So while that was happening, and while more problems, as they always do, were presenting themselves, an opportunity arose where I could make money doing some cryptocurrency arbitrage as well between the US and South Korea. Very similar to what SBF did, the guy that is all over the news with FTX. All the money disappeared. So I hate comparing myself to that guy now. It used to be a good comparison. It used to be like, oh, really? That's awesome. And now the name's so damn bad. But I was doing the same thing he did before everything went bad, in the sense that I was just arbitraging cryptocurrency between the US and South Korea. And the other guy was doing it with Japan. There was a limit. We got up to where the most we could do in a day was 1.8 million. That was like a remittance limit. But anyway, we were just doing that. And it went really well. I got investors involved, mostly like friends, dads, and family members and things like that. But I mean, the arbitrage was so good, it quickly grew up to where we had to start giving people their money back. We said, you can't invest this much anymore. You have to take profits, because we had limits. There was a ceiling. And that went really, really well. Fast forward, I cashed out of that and first I got the money locked twice in South Korean bank. I had to fly over. It was a whole thing, but we got all our money out. Everybody made money. It was a happy ending. And then I realized I wanted to start investing, passively in the stock market. And there's these things called capital gains, and I don't like the tax for capital gains.
Really? No way.
Yeah. I'm not huge on paying taxes. So Puerto Rico, I'm not sure if has some very great benefits. If you live here at least 183 days a year, the capital gains rate is effectively 0 for short and long term. And then the business tax is around 4% flat. There's a little bit more like fluff and detail there, but without getting into the weeds, that's how it breaks down. So I moved to Puerto Rico, and then I was like, okay, I've got this great tax set up. Like I felt like a great tax planner. I felt like 30 years older than I was, and then lost some money in the stock market doing some risky stuff, but then made it back in other places. But anyways, then I was like, hey, I've already had experience in e-commerce. What's the next step? And, when you're doing this, if you rewind to the beginning of the story where I was doing arbitrage, where all the sales volume was coming from Amazon, really. Like, we were fulfilling from Amazon. eBay was this like afterthought that, we'd found a niche and we made money on, but we knew like where the future was going was primarily Amazon at that point. Walmart wasn't even really in the online game at all. So it was just eBay and Amazon was dominating. Shopify was much more nascent. Like the game's changed now. Like it's changed considerably. But yeah, back then I was like, what the heck am I going to do now? I can't just like passively invest in the stock market. I'm going to wither away and die from drinking too much on the beach. So I started a private label business. That's how I got involved. And so me and a couple other guys that I had previously worked with from the original company, so 3 out of the original 4, not the programmer, we started a private label business.
Cool. That's amazing. Wow. That's really, really cool. And then diving into like external ranking and like Google to Amazon strategies, I'm curious on your thoughts because I've done this A/B test before. When it comes to Pixel Me and doing like we did an A/B test between having a landing page and going from Google, having the intermediate landing page, and then going to Amazon and not sending them directly there. I'm curious if you've done like either that A/B test or another A/B test that has made it where that ends up working better. Like I'd love to hear some either successes or some A/B test that makes the Google to Amazon. Like, what are some things that makes that like work better, or an A/B test that you've found that has been successful?
Yeah. So, I mean, I try to like build all the things in my mind with some like certain truths, right, that I like to believe in. And I think that while there's probably some page out there that is like crazy high converting that some marketing guru has put together that's just incredible. Generally speaking, I think Amazon converts like better than any other website in the world. Like if you compare it to like a D2C site. So if we hold that to be self-evident, speaking presidentially now, if we hold that truth to be self-evident, then, you know, then you would say, why would I ever not send it directly to Amazon? And of course, the answers are things like, well, Amazon has a referral fee. If you're on your own website, maybe you don't. Hopefully you don't, or it's much lower. And data is extremely valuable, right? Amazon is notorious for hoarding data like crazy and not sharing it. And they're trying to make some improvements there with emails and things like that. But what we built with PixelMe is kind of off of the back of Google. I don't think you have to necessarily choose between data collection and conversion. I think you can have both. So Google has something called parallel URL tracking. I'm sure you're aware. You're a guru at this stuff as well. But it has parallel URL tracking, meaning that whenever you're like, if you create a link through PixelMe, and you can do this manually in Google, but it's not fun. Like you shouldn't invite friends over to do it together. So
really,
but if you create a link through PixelMe or an ad on Google, what's happening is there's actually like 2 instances created when somebody clicks that link. One's going directly to Amazon, which is, of course, what we're talking about, going to have high conversion. And from a customer perspective, they're just going straight to Amazon. Seems super legit. There's no, information collecting in the interim, and that's nice from their perspective. Now, the other thing that's happening in the background is there's a separate instance that is running, and that is where PixelMe is firing pixels, which is, for anybody that isn't aware, pixels are similar to cookies. It's what allows you to to retarget audiences in the future. So if you've ever clicked on an ad and then you keep seeing that same ad or similar ads all over the internet, as you go to TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, it's because, somebody pixeled you. You clicked on a link with a pixel, they identified you across different medias, and they're retargeting you. So with PixelMe, we can do both of those. Now, we're not able to collect emails, like if you were to send somebody to your own Shopify store and try to collect their email. But without getting too far ahead of myself, we're working on something that would never have like 100% retention, but we're working on collecting emails as well. You can't do it in Europe because of GDPR, but we got something cooking on that on the US side.
That's really amazing. Because I've seen like things, other tools that can scrape websites, or you basically like put the link on your website. It's like a pixel on your website, and you can get 30% of like the emails that come through that like the visitors that come to you in the US. And that'd be amazing if you could do that through Amazon, because that would be like the main pitch. Like think about it. Like people go, oh, I don't own the customer data. But if you're able to capture the customer data and also send them to Amazon, like that would be like a huge like double whammy. Like you get both. Like you get
I'm
best of both
smiling
worlds.
I'm smiling
Yeah.
for a reason. This is the type of stuff I've been working on in the background. So it's not live yet. It's not 100%, but we're working on exactly that. You should.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, that we understand the customers' problems, their pain points, and we're trying to solve all of them to the best of our ability, at least. And right now, the ability to retarget via pixels, right? But
Mhm.
everybody loves building email lists as well. So if we can give that, I think that's another huge step in the right direction. And then you still get the benefit, of course, of Amazon's high conversion.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And not only are you retargeting, I believe within PixelMe you can also put they're also attribution links, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Or like
Yeah.
where it has the brand referral fee, the brand referral fee in there that you get
Referral
back.
bonus. It's not a
Bonus.
fee.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know
it's
I
the
don't know what to
opposite of
call
a
it.
fee.
Yes, yes. Yeah, bonus, whatever you call it.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised it's not a fee. They're always giving us fees. That's why you thought of
Charging
it.
you.
Yeah. If you send traffic to Amazon, we charge you to send that traffic. Yeah, no, it's a 10% brand referral bonus, and you're exactly right. If you're inside the U.S., you're brand registered, you have access to the 10% brand referral bonus, which is awesome. So every time you get a sale, instead of paying a 15% referral fee, you'll get 10% of that back. So you'll end up effectively paying 5%, which is a huge difference. And yeah, even maybe more importantly, we are collecting data for attribution, so you can see which ads are converting, how many clicks you're getting, how many add to carts. And inside of PixelMe, which is kind of the title of this entire podcast, is around a ranking strategy. But we also can track keywords to see how your keywords are performing over time as you spend more on Google traffic from Google to Amazon. And to be clear, this works with Meta, so Instagram and Facebook, as well as TikTok, and also social influencer links. Like we can give you a link to give to any influencer you want, or you can put it in an email or wherever. The only difference with that is because we're not connected, via API to an influencer like Google, Facebook, and TikTok. We're connected via API, so we're getting the spend. Hey, how much did you spend on this ad? And then we're marrying that with the Amazon data and PixelMe to see, hey, here's your ACoS, here's your ROAS. This campaign sucks. This one's great. Move your budget from this one to that one. Whereas with an influencer, we'll just see the conversion data. We won't know how much you spent that influencer or what contract you have on the back end, because there's no way for us to know that. But you'll still be able to see all the conversion data.
So I'm curious, you have a lot of data, and I'm curious on what source is performing the best. I assume it's Google, but out of like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, influencers and Google, I assume the main winner out of all those would still be Google, just from a search standpoint. But I'm curious if you've seen anything else of like maybe something is performing, maybe TikTok is performing better. I have no idea. I'm curious if you're seeing anything on the back end that another either thing that is doing better, or I'd love to get your thoughts on what is doing the best currently.
Yeah. Your assumption is like mostly right, I think, with some caveats.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok's like a big ass question mark. Excuse the French. Like it's really as good as like the creative is, and how convincing the person talking is, and how close they are with their community. So when you talk about TikTok in general, I would say, yeah, far less from a click standpoint converting. Like you might get 1,000 clicks from a TikTok video, but not a single conversion. Where you might only get 20 clicks from Google, but you'll get a conversion. That's not a great conversion rate on either of those. But it just also depends like how much you're paying for the clicks and impressions on TikTok. It varies widely. But this is what I'll say more concretely, so it doesn't sound like I'm completely evading the question. From a keyword rank perspective, I think that there's nothing superior to Google, because of the simple fact that Google is a search-based platform. People are searching the word black t-shirt, where on TikTok, people are just TikToking. They're doing their thing. Yeah. And then they see a black t-shirt that catches their interest. For that reason, it's impossible for TikTok to give Amazon data that says, hey, this person searched the word black t-shirt and then it converted. It just shows traffic coming from TikTok. Similar to with Meta, Facebook, and Instagram, right? People generally, it's just a browsing platform. It's audience based. It's based on your age, your interests, things like that. Whereas Google, people are typing in black t-shirt and that metadata is passing to Amazon. And I think that's become overwhelmingly proven and clear based on the results that have been proven, not just by us, but by others as well, with Google traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have an extremely fantastic influencer, like also from an ACOS perspective, like I would think that Google's better than most, especially from the like Facebook iOS standpoint changes. We're getting into like the nitty gritty now, but if you have a super awesome influencer and you somehow, or they just made a super awesome video that was like, that went viral. I mean, maybe you paid $1,000 or maybe you paid $200, and if the video goes viral, I mean, you're not going to get a better ROI than that. Like it's going to beat Google. That's the power of TikTok, is that the virality aspect of it is hard to predict. Now, that's quite far away from shooting fish in a barrel. It takes, it takes a little bit of luck, I think, but TikTok can be massive. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'll add in defense of TikTok, because I know a lot of people are spending their time there, is that I have not seen any situation where low converting data has hurt the ranking of a product. You would think that, if you start converting like terribly on Amazon, like imagine somebody going to Amazon, typing in black t-shirt, and you never convert, you're obviously going to go down on the search rankings. I haven't seen the same to be true. It appears that external traffic, from my opinion, can only be positive. It can only have a positive effect, not a negative. I mean, TikTok traffic's extremely low converting, but Amazon would be foolish to start damaging everybody's products that sent TikTok traffic their way.
So you're saying, what I did in the past was, in my previous business, I set up an intermittent landing page, so that way the people from TikTok, Google, and Instagram would go through that intermittent landing page, and if they liked the product, they would go on Amazon and purchase from there, because I didn't want to hurt the page conversion rate, because that's what I noticed, that we were kind of dropping the overall page conversion rate, which I assumed would have dropped sales. So are you saying, even though technically you're sending them to that page, which will drop conversion rate, that won't necessarily hurt the ranking or the sales?
I think that sending them from a website that has strong domain authority, which is what I do, yes, that's what I'm saying. If you're sending traffic from TikTok to Amazon, Amazon knows where that's coming from. There's somebody working at Amazon that's saying, how do we get more and more and more traffic from TikTok? And in the boardroom, if somebody raises their hand and says, hurt their product listing for the low conversion, I think that guy should get fired immediately. And I think the same is from Facebook and TikTok, or Facebook and Google, three websites that are just extremely well known and respected. But if you're doing a third party landing page, I'll tell you transparently that I have less data on that. We don't recommend that. That's why we use like parallel URL tracking and send it the instance directly to the page from the original domain. It's going to be a beautiful thing if we're able to successfully capture those emails at a 30% clip, like you said. Or I have aspirations of a little bit higher, closer to 40, because I don't think that most landing pages capture 40% of emails. I'm not an expert on that either, but my guess is it'd be much lower. And
yeah,
so
with mine, I think it was like 15-20%. It was like,
and I think that's good. I think that's a good one too. Yeah. So yeah, but to answer your question directly, yeah, Victor, yeah, exactly. I'm not noticing any like keyword rankings, and that's what you get whenever you're following things pretty diligently, like the BSR and the keyword ranks inside of PixelMe. You have more transparency as opposed to trying to stitch all this stuff together and checking, whatever tool you use for keyword ranking, whether it's Helium 10 or Seller Tools or managed by stats. You're able to, follow it within PixelMe as you can see your ad spend over time and the keyword rank spend over time. Keyword rank over time. I don't know about third-party websites as much, but my thought is Amazon would be foolish to, while of course it's going to show your conversion rate going down. That's true. Yeah. Your conversion is going to go down. But whether or not those are in search Amazon, meaning somebody navigates to Amazon.com and does a search term, or somebody is sent to the listing page directly from external traffic, those are two types of traffic, completely two different types.
Interesting. So what it sounds like is the Amazon algorithm is being a lot more keyword based rather than overall based. Like, so for example, if I type in black t-shirt for men and my ranking, I'm number one for black t-shirt for men. But if I send a lot of TikTok traffic over to it and my conversion rate drops to zero, like let's say 1%, like my conversion rate for black t-shirt for men is extremely high. So what it sounds like, it's doing it based off the keyword level. And let's say I have a 30% conversion rate for black t-shirt for men and I'm number one. It sounds like that will keep ranking number one on the keyword level. And then on an overall basis, it doesn't look at that as much. But when it comes to a keyword level conversion rate, it looks at that a lot more and prioritizes that rather than the overall conversion rate is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I think you said it well. Just I think Amazon is bucketing traffic in two different ways. Hey, did we have somebody that came to Amazon and started searching for something? That's one type of traffic. Did we have a TikToker hop over here that otherwise wouldn't have been on Amazon? Yeah, that's a different type of traffic. That dude didn't wake up today and want to buy a black t-shirt. He got invaded his private space on TikTok with an ad, and he got convinced to jump to Amazon. We'll take that all day. Let's not punish that type of traffic. That's how I would run it if I was Mr. Jeff Bezos, and I think that's how they're running it.
Yeah, that's really smart. That's really smart. And when it comes down to the future of Google and Google advertising and the Google to Amazon, we know that Amazon cost per clicks are going up. When it comes down to like the Amazon ads, the cost per clicks are going up. And what are your thoughts on, like, do you see that, like, hey, this is going to be the future of starting running external traffic as the cost per click's going up? And what do you think that looks like? Like, do you think it's going to be like in a year from now, the cost per click is going to be so bad that everyone's going to be doing external traffic? Like, what are your thoughts on how fast that cost is rising on the Amazon ad side? And when people are going to really start where they have to switch over to external traffic?
Yeah, really good question. And the quick answer is I don't know, but I have predictions. I think there's going to eventually have to be some consolidation. I think the past 4 years has been like, bless you, brother. Bless you.
Thank you.
I think there's going to have to be some consolidation. The barrier to entry has been wide open for the past 10 years. And, there's just been this mass amount of people trying to break in, but there's aggregators coming in, right? There's consolidation even inside of the Amazon space with companies. And I think that there's going to be winners and losers like there always has been, but it's going to be more evident in the coming year and coming years. Yeah. I think the winners are going to be pushing external traffic. That's what I think. And I think that the losers are going to be like, why am I not ranking anymore? And I'm already experiencing that when I jump on calls with people. And we're like running a quasi agency on accident, by the way. Like at Pixel Me, we're doing the Pixel Me done for you thing, not by choice. Like we don't want to be doing it. We have so much to do. We just so many people were saying, I don't have the time, or even if we wanted to educate them, they were just more like, can you just do it for us? So we're trying to disseminate the information. We're trying to tell other agencies how to do this. We're not trying to have any secret sauce. We're take these clients, take this information and spread it, because we want to be a software company. We want Pixel Me to be available and an achievable goal for everyone. I didn't say that right, but you get the idea. We want people to be able to do it on their own. We don't want them to have to pay us to do it. And yeah, I think that already when I'm talking to people on calls, they're saying, you know what, I'm just pouring more and more and more money into Amazon PPC. It's getting more expensive. It's not as effective as it used to be. And I need organic sales, but whatever I do, I just can't rank. And I mean, the simple fact is if you look at your product and you type it in on Google, if there's advertisers, that's not oh crap, somebody already beat me to it. There's probably not 20 people bidding on that keyword. There might be 2 or 1 or none. So even if another person is doing it, don't let it discourage you. Just do it. And you guys will both be in the top 5, probably, as long as, you got good products and good listings and everything else. This isn't a solution for a bad product. It's like gasoline on a fire for a good quality product that you've already you've already done a good job of building the listing, etc. But yeah, Vic, like more and more people are going to be doing off Amazon advertising. If we watch this, we should set a calendar date for February 24th, 2024. And everybody's doing it now or whatever. But yeah, more and more people are going to be doing it. And it's smart too, from like if you're just relying on Amazon traffic, you're not going to be able to like use pixels to retarget. Smarter and smarter marketers are going to play a bigger role than they have in the past, because until now, the battleground has been on Amazon. And now it's like you got to fight it on two fronts, which means you got to be, you got to learn quickly. You got to adapt. Google ads is not rocket science. There's more Google ad experts than there are Amazon ad experts, I'd be willing to bet. Google's been around longer, So anyway, it's absolutely going to become more and more and more important. And I already think the people that are using it are just ahead of the game. But I've been saying that for a year. So eventually they just got to be like, I don't know when it's like, no, now it's just like you're in the game. I think a year ago they were ahead, and maybe people still are. I've been shouting to the rooftops to anybody that would listen that that's going to have a huge impact on your business, more than anything else I've ever seen, like from a ranking campaign standpoint that's TOS compliant. And finally, it felt like last fall people started listening. I don't know if I just started showing frustration on stage or if like the belief in my voice got like more believable or what. But yeah, last fall, some people started hitting me up on LinkedIn and were like, hey, I saw you here and there, and I started doing what you're doing and it's working. I was like, yeah, I told you.
Imagine. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, and you're so right. When I did Amazon consulting, like almost all my clients just said, Victor, it's great that you're teaching me all these things, but just do it for me. Like I can't, like people either have money or time, and a lot of people just like want you to end up doing it for them. So I totally understand that pain of like doing that. I totally understand.
And we honestly don't want to be like, it's profitable. It's nice, but we're trying to be a software company. We work with a lot of agencies. So our plan is like long-term. And if you're listening to this and you are an agency, we want to partner with agencies and, put them on the website and say, hey, put them through a training course for what me and Albert have kind of built out, and say, this is the step-by-step, and, you're a certified partner, because long-term, we want to continue doing what we do best, which is build, really functional, high-performance software.
Yeah, that's amazing. And one last question is, when it comes down to the Pixel Me, does it actually like allow you to create Google campaigns, or does it just allow you to track the Google campaigns? Like,
I can. I don't know if I can share my screen. I'd be happy to like show you.
Yeah. You can share your screen. So there's a little button at the bottom.
Yeah. No, I know how to do it. I just didn't know if you wanted me to or not. Sure. Let me log in Pixel Me real quick.
Let's do it.
Okay. I just didn't know how many of you people were like visually watching or just listening. So anyway, but yeah, I'll get into it. Okay, let me share my screen. Whoops, that's a presentation. That's not what I want to do. This is, I said, there I go, saying I know how to do it, and I didn't. But now I do. All right, here we go.
Cool.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so here's Pixel Me. This is just a demo account, but if you want to add a product, all you do is just grab the URL. So like we could do this real quick. I don't know what product you'd want to do, but we could, I don't know. Tell me a product.
Do a magnesium supplement. Just any magnesium supplement.
So what I'll do for you is like, we'll just go down here and grab like one that isn't like super high up. We'll just grab, I don't know, this one.
Sure.
I did this. So let me just go like this. And then you just grab this URL, man. Oops. So we're going to put it in here. Oh, I must have grabbed it wrong.
It looked
Let me do this, because I always do this like a weird way. Let me do that. And then I'll just grab, where was the, let me open up a third thing. Here we go. All right. Because it's like, you got to do it the exact way. Magnesium supplement. So I like to just, we won't grab one on like the top row. We'll just go down a little bit further and find one that's organically ranked. So We'll grab, I don't know, this guy's fine. Boom. I'm just going to replace this here. And now what it's doing is it's like pulling in the title, description, bullet points, everything of this product.
That's cool.
Yeah, it takes a little second because it's got to scrape everything. But here it is, and you can see the attribution account's already connected. You got to put in here how much you expect to make on each unit. I'm just putting 5. This is where you would type in your keywords. So if we wanted to track magnesium supplement, I don't know the other words, but magnesium, whatever keywords you're interested in, like bidding on. And then this is like the thing that me and Albert used to have to do manually, which was the worst. But basically, we would look at products that were similar to yours and see where you have opportunities. So we'd look at the first page, and if you said, hey, this is a big competitor, we'd add in 5 different competitors. I'll just grab 3 for now, just to like keep things moving real quick. And then I'll show you how you can launch a campaign, and then I'll show you the results. So let me just grab one that's not sponsored. We'll just grab this guy. And obviously you'd be like thoughtful about how you did this. I'm moving fast. You can put in the brand or whatever, but we're just going to save the product. Okay. So we go down here. Here's the product. And this is awesome. This is where you get to like create a new link, and you would be able to add pixels with the click of a button. And you could say it was for TikTok, whatever it was. You could add in turn on deep linking, which I highly suggest, and then just click create. And then here's a link that you can give to your influencer, and it'll track all the attribution, the keyword rank, everything. But to answer your question, which was a long time getting there, is you can import campaigns from Google and TikTok, and you can create campaigns from within PixelMe without leaving PixelMe on Google, Facebook, and TikTok. So you would click Google. Again, you've already connected your Google Ads account, which takes like 30 seconds. It's not hard. You click which your product's already preloaded. You click the Google Ad account. This is where you can change your budget, things like that, add your pixels. I'm going to fly through this for the time being. Deep linking's on. And this is where we've already added our competitors. This is where you would add the keywords. You can see here we got the product. These are the keywords suggested by Amazon over here in the description. But me and Albert built something, and our dev team helped make it possible, where what we're doing with these competitors is we're doing an Amazon reverse ASIN search, and we're looking for where your product in comparison to your competitors has the ability to, has a huge opportunity to increase from a keyword rank perspective. So you can see we just pulled in these keywords, what the Amazon search volume is, what your current Amazon rank is, and comparing it to the number, like the highest out of the competitors you brought. And we're also pulling in, this is awesome, we're pulling in the estimated cost per click information from Google, as well as the Google search volume. And so if you could say, hey, look, we're ranked, as we could say, hey, we're ranked number 82 here. If we could bust through the top 20 on this, maybe we're not going to end up at number 1, but there's a lot of ground to make up there. You're not even on page 1 with that. So we can add this, you would go through here and see what makes sense. And it's got to have enough Amazon search volume to be, sexy to go after, and enough Google search volume to push the traffic. But after, let's say, hey, you're 39 here. This guy's number 7. There's enough search volume on both of these. The bid isn't too high. Anyway, you'd pick which ones made sense. You'd add them here, and then you'd click OK. These are automatically made as exact match types in the campaign. You'd click next, and then we're even actually like suggesting product headlines and descriptions for you. So you can copy these, and it'll automatically add them over here. And you can do the same thing with the description. Obviously, you would take a little bit of time to do this, but you click next, and then you click launch. This is a demo account, so this isn't actually going to launch, but that's what happens. And then you can go into the campaigns after. I'll just pull up this one. This is like dummy data. But this is working. I mean, lots and lots of clients are doing this, and it's actively working. And you can see things like how many impressions you got, purchase, ad cost, ROAS, ACoS. You can also track the keyword rank on your keywords that you're interested in. But to your point, like Victor, like if we go down here and find a Google ad with actual data, we did actually run some TikTok data on this, but inside of Google, let me see if I can find one with actually Google information. Let me do last 60 days. Anyway, I should have probably had a better demo account here, but you can go into the Google campaign and you can see the cost per click on the product level, the campaign level, and actually on the keyword level. So when you're doing exact phrase match, keyword match, whatever it is you want, all of this will have data on an individual keyword level, not just the campaign, not just the product. So very cool stuff.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. Yeah,
It's
that's
pretty
really,
nice.
really cool. Yeah. That's a really good overview of everything. I can't believe like that really shocked me about the whole like seeing the Amazon search volume, Google search volume, and the cost per click. That's really, really fascinating. Like, I think that'll be really important in the future when you start doing like cost per click like analysis. As like things start creeping over that like $2, $2.50 like cost per click mark, Google's gonna start looking a lot more attractive pretty soon. So
We're
that's gonna be
seeing we're
awesome.
seeing in some cases like clicks being more expensive on Amazon than on Google.
Yeah.
So like that's people like that. But we don't expect we tell people like use this as a ranking strategy. We don't think that the ACOS should be similar to what it is on Amazon. We have clients that have 120% ACOS and they're so happy because their organic rank went from 25 to 7, and when they pull in their search query performance reports, like we'll say, pull up your search query performance reports, and we'll say, hey, this is your click share on this keyword before we got involved, before we ran Google campaigns, and it was 2%, and now your click share performance is 14%. It's it's 7 times, and your conversion rate on Amazon stayed the same. So here's how many more times more sales you get on this keyword. Your sales on this keyword have gone up by 6 times or 7 times, and people are freaking out, and they're like, how do I get more products on this? So we don't tell people expect super great ACOS on Google. That's not what I think the drive should be. I think the play should be, how do I do things that I'm not doing right now? Ranking organically, which everybody knows that's the name of the game. That's how you make your money in this business. And then number 2, retargeting. Retargeting is much cheaper than the most expensive click you'll ever spend is that first Google click. If you retarget them in the future, it's a percentage of what you originally spent. So that's where smart money's moving. That's where people are. That's where the winners are going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you're just missing out a huge opportunity if you're not retargeting any of your customers. Huge opportunity. Like everyone should be. It's the lowest grapefruit. Like the lowest fruit that you can grab is that literally that retargeting. Is
But I'm not bashing anybody else, but there's another company that does Google to Amazon ads, but they don't add the ability to pixel because that's just not how they were created. They had a different mission in mind, where PixelMe started as a retargeting software, and then it converted to Amazon. So it's great at retargeting and making sure that you're collecting those audiences. But that's it, man. Like if you didn't listen to anything else I said, retarget and don't worry about 100% ACOS. Worry about the tacos. Look at your search query performance and look at your organic sales. I will take 200% ACOS. We're not even spending crazy big budgets. We're doing this with like $30 a day. So call it $1,000 a month. And we're having keywords go, from 25 to 10, 9. Any way you look at it, your sales are organically massively increasing. So that's the name of the game. Don't worry about trying to get a 40% ACOS. If you get it, great. Awesome. We have people doing it. We have one client with a 9% ACOS on a $400 product. With the brand referral bonus, he has a negative ACOS. So his ROAS in PixelMe shows as the infinity sign. It's unreal. He's like, I just want to pour as much money into this as possible. But that's not the expectation. That's the exception, not the rule. But guys, if you're out there and you got the time or the money to invest in this, it's working.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And that's unfortunately all we have time for today. I guarantee we can go on for this for 9 more hours. Clayton, please tell them how to find you, how to find PixelMe, where to sign up, and everything else there.
For sure. My email is Clayton@carbon6, the number 6.io. I'm on LinkedIn, Clayton Atchison. It's ATCHISON. And, PixelMe, just type in pixelme.me, pixelme.me, or you can go to carbon6.io and there'll be a link to PixelMe on there. pretty much anybody you get a hold to a Carbon 6. If you just get to Carbon 6 and say, put me in touch with Clayton, they know me. They'll take care of you.
That's awesome. Clayton, thank you so much for joining today. Thank you everyone for watching, and we will catch you next time.